Introduction. What is the Sedona method? You feel like your heart is warm and open. Your spine is pleasantly tingling, and your body is floating on air. As you look around the room, the colors seem brighter and sounds clearer, like you are truly experiencing your surrounding for the first time. Your mind feels profoundly quieter. Yeah. There are many new and wonderful possible floating into your awareness about how you can improve your life and live happily now. You feel relaxed and it is at ease, knowing that all well and everything is unfolding as it should be. Your eyes are a little teary because it's hard for you to believe that such simple exercise could make such a profound and immediate difference in how you feel. You are excited about the future, knowing that you can face whatever happens with a new feeling of inner strength, peace, and confidence, no matter what cures life through your way. Best of all, you know this is just the beginning. You can easily have this type of experience for yourself, just like the tens of thousands of the others who have been living and using the simple, yet our full technique that Sedona Training Associate have to have done for years in our live seminars and audio program. Now these techniques are available to you in this book. Are you open to be are you open to being truly happy? Are you willing to achieve everything that you have been waiting in your life? Are you ready to find what your heart has always been seeking? If you answer no to all three of these questions, then please don't bother reading this book. If you answer yes to any of them, the Sedona method will show you a practical way to tap an inner source of boundless happiness to achieve your wildest dream and highest potential, and to become a spiritual finder instead of seeker. We live in the world that in a state of rapid change, and not all of this is a positive. Most of us crave and certainly security and solidity that we can find outside of ourselves no matter how hard we try. But this quality already exists within each of us, waiting to be revealed. It is true, it is true we possess an inner wishing well or a fountain of joy and vitality that disconnects from the water supply. Yet secretly, everyone has to reconnect. Intrigued? I hope so, because I would love to share a simple process with you that can deliver of this promise. The Sedona method technique has already helped many thousands of people to tap their natural ability to let go and of uncomfortable and unwanted emotion on the spot. It is our limiting emotion that prevent us from creating and maintaining the life that we choose. We abdicate our decision-making ability to them. We even imagine that our emotion can dictate to us who we are supposed to be. This is made apparent in our use of language. How have you ever said to someone, I am angry or I'm sad? When we speak like this, we are saying those around us and to ourselves without realizing it, that we are anger or we are our grief. We relate to others and ourselves as to we are our feelings. In fact, we even invent whole stories of why my feel the way we feel in order to justify or explain this misperception of our identity. It is not that a feeling don't occasionally appear to be justified. It is just feelings are only feelings. Feelings are not who you are. And we can easily let them go. Choosing to let them go feeds us to perceive what is actually here and act and to act. Refrain from acting accordingly. This translates into an ability of end life to make stronger, clearer choice. It allows you and to me to act in ways that support us in achieving our goals and inspiration as opposed to sabotaging them. I have seen the process of letting go of the emotion grow into an ability to have more money, better relationship, more radiant health and physical well-being, and an ability to be happy, calm, and confused no matter what is going on around us. Come, come, come inside. Sounds good, doesn't it? I thought it it did back in 1976 when I met Lester Levinson, the man who inspired the creation of Sedona method and who would also become my mentor. Back then, I was an ardent, although confused seeker who had gone to numerous seminars led by teachers from both an East and West. I had studied various body certain center disciplines, including yoga, tai chi, shiatsu. I had actively participated in numerous personal growth courses, including EASE, actualism, Theta seminar, and rebirthing. At these seminars, I had many nice experiences and heard and understood, at least intellectuality, many useful concepts. Still, I felt incomplete. Allow for a simple and powerful answer to some important yet vexing question like, what is my life is suppose? What is my life purpose? What is the truth? Much, much of what I heard and experienced only added to my questioning. No one seems to have truly satisfying answer, to have truly satisfied themselves about their true nature. There was also a strong, almost universal belief that growing was hard work that required bearing your soul and reliving painful, unresolved issue that all changed during my very fortunate encounter with this remarkable man. I met Lester at seminar led by a well-known speaker that Lester was attending as the leader guide. The day a group of us went out to lunch together. Lester's presence immediately struck me as unique. He was in a total peace and equal mindedness, very comfortable with him. He was unassuming and easy to talk and treated everyone as his friend, even me, a complete stranger. It was obvious it was obvious that he had ended his search by discovering an answer I had been seeking. I know I had to find out more. When I asked Lester what he did, he invited me to a seminar that was being held the next weekend. All the all he would tell me was that a group of people is going to sit around a table and release. I wasn't sure what releasing meant, but I know if it could even point me in the right direction of a quality of which Lester was the living embodiment. I definitely want it. I took a leap of faith and signed up on the spot. That weekend, I was in I was in essentially the same position you are in right now. I was about I was about to embark on a journey for which I felt a little bit of a trepidation. I wasn't sure exactly what I was getting involved, and since I had done so many seminars, I also had a healthy degree of skepticism. I found myself wondering, oh my God, it is going to be another of those disappointments along the way. As the course unfolded, however, I watched myself and other people in the class shedding long held belief and limitation with amazing ease and speed, without having to believe or explain their life stories. Almost overnight, I knew that I have found and I was looking for. In fact, deep inside, I noticed That this process of releasing was I had been born to do and share with my world. And to this day, I have never wavered. In the past 26 years, I have watched thousands of people change their life radically yet gently for the better, just learning one elegantly simple yet powerful technique. As my friendship with Lester developed, I discovered more about him that confirmed my initial impression. He was a man who had mastered life's greatest challenge. In 1952, at age 42, Lester, a physic and successful as a physic and successful entrepreneur, was at the pinnacle of worldly success. Yet, he was an unhappy, very unhealthy man. He had many health problems, including depression and liver, kidney stone, spleen trouble, hyperradicity, hyperacidity, and an ulcer that had perforate his stomach and formed lesion. He was so unhealthy, in fact, that after having this second coronary, his doctor sent him to his Central Park South penthouse apartment in New York City to die. Lester was a man who loved challenge, so instead of giving up, he decided to go back to the lab within himself and find some answers. Because of this determination and concentration, he was able to cut through his conscious mind to find what he needed. What he found was the ultimate tool for personal growth, a way of letting go of all inner limitation. He was so excited by his discovery that he used it intensively for a period of 3 months. By the end of the period, his body became totally healthy again. Furthermore, he entered a state of profound peace that never left him through the day he died on 1890 94. What Lester discovered firsthand is that we are unlimited beings, limited only by concept of limitation that we hold in our mind. This concept of limitation are not true. Furthermore, because they are not really true, they can easily be released or discharged. Lester's experience made him understand that not only could he practice in this technique himself, he could teach others how to do as well. As a result, he began working with people, both in small groups and individually. Lester believed strongly that personal growth was not dependent on any external source, including a teacher, and he did not want to be any one guru, but because of how elevated people felt around him, despite his protestation and attempts to avoid it happening. Many of Lester's students insisted on seeing him as guru. So, in 1973, Lester realized that his teaching needed to be formalized into a system that he could allow others to teach, leaving him, oh no, out of equation. A way to transform his powerful technique for personal growth into a do it self system was devised, which is how called the Sedona methods. The topic is book. How releasing has influenced my life. How releasing has influenced my life. From the beginning, my relationship with Lester felt like being with a good friend. I was immediately so drawn by him and his teaching, and I rapidly took all three of the courses he offered. The basic course in November, the advanced course in January, and instructor training in February. I was in a rush to learn everything I could. I also started working with Lester, sharing his teachings with the world. Working with Lester afforded me the opportunity to spend more time with him, observe him in action, and see how he dealt with life, even inevitable challenge. I was very impressed. One of the way we relate by sitting in coffee shop and speaking of length. He consistently enjoy sitting and chatting over a cup of coffee. Apa sih? Right up until shortly before his death, he, he frequently states, "My office is my briefcase and the nearest place to get a good cup of coffee." Our meetings were always a little comical and sometimes frustration to me because I always thought it it was important to discuss the truth, whereas Lester would invariably steer the conversation to a mundane a topic as possible. Nonetheless, every time we were together, my understanding and direct experience of truth would deepen, even if we never spoke about it. He was a living example rather than a pontificator. This helped me to discover the opportunity to release and experience greater freedom in every moment. A practice, a practice that stay with me to this day. I was so engaged that I even started holding support group for people using the Sedona method in the living room of my upper west side apartment. But it was it wasn't long before I realized that I need to mature and grow personally before I could be of some use to Lester and his budding organization. I decided to support him as volunteer and active participant instead of as an employee while continuing to explore in different ways how releasing would affect to my everyday life. Soon after that, I started my own business selling jewelry. The success of this venture afforded me the opportunity to work part-time while exploring life and my releasing full-time. I continued this venture and my more casual involvement with Lester until around 1981. As I worked with the method in my business and personal life, I became ever more convinced that I found a technique that could help anyone. In late 70 in late 70, Lester moved out to Arizona. Except through this teaching, my contact with Lester during this period was occasional, but it continued to influence me profoundly. Then in 1981, I was invited to my flight to Phoenix to participate again in an instructor training. This seminar began with a new phase of our relationship. He is also rekindled my desire to work closely with Lester and sharing this method with the world. I started leading workshops for Sedona Method graduates on regular basis in New York City and flew to Arizona several times a year for more training and participate in a week-long longer retreat called intensive. Leading the workshop and participating in training and intensive greatly accelerate my personal use of method. I noticed a profound result in myself and in friends who were also participating. During this period, I decided to participate more actively full-time in the world of business. I bravely worked for my father selling industrial real estate in around New York City, but I didn't feel the job suited me. Then I joined the firm in Manhattan that sold co-ops and condominiums. I was quickly able to use the method to support my sales ability and become one of their top salespeople. For a while, I enjoyed doing this, but then an opportunity presented itself to join my brother in establishing an investment division back in my father's real estate firm. I happily made the transition to selling office building, shopping center, and other real estate investment. For the first time in our life, my brother and I became a friend. I was able to release to all baggage and I had been carrying around about our earlier relationship, and we became a terrific business team. We were having a recurring problem, however, of starting money more deals than we were actually closing. Then one day, out of the blue, Lester called me up to see how I was doing. I explained what was happening. He said one sentence that totally turned around our low closing ratio and the rest of my business career. He simply said, "Bank in the bank, not in your head." Without me saying anything about it, he had picked up on a tendency that I and most other people in the sales profession have, which is head banking. I was so busy imagining how great it was going to be when I closed each deal, and I was neglecting actually closing them. As soon as I start releasing instead of fantasizing, we start to close a lot more deals. Another important lesson about letting go was learned when I received an listing for 9 shopping centers from what was affectionately known in the industry then as Xerox broker. A Xerox broker is someone who gets a written leasing on properties from other brokers, then copies and send them to other broker and principal without ever bothering to check the fact or get in contact with the actual owner or leasing agent. Another important lesson about letting go was learned when I received a leasing for 9 shopping centers from what was affectionately known in the industry then as a Xerox broker. A Xerox broker is someone who gets written leasing on properties from other broker, then copies and send them to other broker and principal without ever bothering to check the facts or get in contact with actual owner leasing agent. I sent a copy of the leasing to one of my better customer, and he shoot me back in an immediate, almost full price offer. Of course, I was excited, so I picked up the phone to call. The man I took was the principal, only to discover that the leasing had come from a Xerox broker with no way of contacting the true owner. Distraught, distraught, I realized that there was nothing I could do but let go. So I did. I cleared my mind and realized all my feeling about the situation until I reached and the point where it was okay, whatever or not I ever made the deal. The very next phone call in our office was from the actual principle of the shopping centers, responding to and at looking for properties that we just happened to have running in the Wall Street Journal. When he offered us the leasing on the very same property, I nearly fell over. This is only one of many events that have led me to understood that estates I had heard repeatedly from Lester is absolutely true. Even the impossible becomes completely possible when you are fully released on it.
Thank you, Kak Reza. Habis baterainya. Mati habis baterainya ternyata. Thank you ya. Oh, oke.
Ada nggak suaranya? Thank you Kakak Reza, salam kenal. The rapid and positive change that took place in Joy's life as soon as he began using the Sedona. Iya, harusnya dua ya. Gak tahu satunya hilang kok. The Sedona method are ideal model of what can happen for us all. Persistent difficulties clear up, existing new possibilities emerge, and serendipity smoothes and plow of
An hour went by. When Joe got up to leave, the phone number, and he didn't give her another two for a couple weeks until that same slips of paper fell out of his notebook and remind him when he called they and connected amazingly well. They, son, they soon fell in love, and Joe asked Jane to marry him. The more Joe applied to the Sedona method, the faster his career as an executive in the investment banking industry took off, and the higher his view, and higher it view. His income grew at exponential rate. In term of wealth and money, the Sedona method has been absolutely incredible for him. In addition, Joe continue using the Sedona method to let go of his worries about his physical condition. In the plane crash, he was crippled from breaking 32 bones, including bones in his left leg, his right kneecap, his hand and his skill. Although his doctor told him he would never walk well again. Today he walked perfectly with virtually no pain. Joe used the same Sedona method technique that you will be learning on this book, morning and night and all through the day. As a result, he is happy and successful. Life is fun, and he is peacefully flowing from event to event. In this world, I feel blessed. The Sedona method is turn big issues into small issues. Life is no life as we know it. Harmony and unqualified happiness are natural to each and every one of us, yet there here how typical work look feel and feels for too many people. We wake up, drag ourselves out of bed, and even before we get to the bedroom, we begin worrying and planning what will happen during the day ahead. We are already spending that what little energy we have stored in from our night sleep. If we were lucky enough, we have had one. Many of us then commute to our job, which put additional stress on us due to traffic or mass transit crowds, or just frustration of waste time. Once we arrive, we are not excited to be there, and we are drilling, we are reading and things we must get done. And we push ourselves through the day. We look ahead to lunch or the end of business. We have various interaction with co-workers, some satisfactory, many not. Since we believe since we believe there is nothing much we can do about anything that happened, or how we feel out about it, usually we simply stuff down our emotion and bury onward. By the time we are done for day, we are exhausted from bottling up our feeling. Maybe we drag ourselves to local bar to hang out with some friend and eat and drink and watch TV, which add it's our layer of stress, hoping our feeling will just disappear. Even though we might feel a little better afterward, in truth, the feeling have only gone underground. We are now like a human pressure cooker with plug stop cook, and it takes us trim down energy to keep the lid on. When we finally get home to our husbands or wife and children, then and they want to talk about their days with us, we have no energy to listen and laugh. We might try to put on happy face only to lose our temper over the smallest things. The family eventually zones out in front of the TV until it is time to go bed. And the next morning we get up and start the whole scenario over again. Kind of the bleak, isn't it? But it's not it also kind of familiar. Your story might be a little different. Hopefully it is brighter than the picture. Perhaps you are stay-at-home parents with young kids. Maybe you are an independent contractor and handle most of your daily affairs over the telephone, and or internet. Perhaps you are an artist, you still. The trend is probably quite similar. The roots that we tend to find ourselves in seems to get deeper over time until we can feel like there is no way out. Well, it doesn't have to be that way. That way. There is a way out. Let things go. One of the main ways that we ourselves create disappointment, unhappiness, and misjudgment is by holding on and to limitation to and willing. It's it is not that holding on in and of itself is an appropriate. Holding on is perfectly appropriate in many situations. I wouldn't suggest, for instance, that you not hold on the steering wheel of the car that you were driving, or not hold on to a ladder that you were climbing. Obviously, the result of such choice could be unfortunate, but have you ever held on a point of view even when it ill serves you? Have you ever held on to an emotion even though there was nothing could do to satisfy that, make it right, or change the situation appear to cause it? Have you ever held to an to on to tension on anxiety even after the initial event that trigger it was long over? This is the form of holding on that we will explore through this book. What is the opposite of holding on? Well, letting go. Of course, both letting go and holding on are part of natural process of life. This fundamental understanding this is the basis of Sedona method. No matter who you are, if you are reading this word, I can guarantee that you have already frequently experienced letting go, often without being aware that it was happening, and even without being to the method. Letting go or releasing is a natural ability that we have all born with, but which we get conditioned against using as we mature into adulthood. There are so many of frequently get stuck. It is that we don't know when is appropriate to let go and when is appropriate to hold on. And most of us are on a side of holding on, often our extreme detriments. There are few synonyms for holding on of letting go that will probably make this point much clearer. Closing and opening. For example, when you are throwing a ball, you need to hold your hand close around the ball through much of your arm motion. But if you don't open your hand, release the ball all the appropriate time, the ball will not go where you want it to. You could even get hurt. Others Other synonyms are construction, expansion. In order for us to breathe, we contract our lungs for, to force the used air out, and then we expand them, filling them with air. We can only inhale. To complete the breathing process, we must also exhale. Tensing and relaxing of our muscle is another example. If you could not do both, our muscle literally would not function properly, as most muscle work in pairs of opposing partners. It is interesting to note the emotional component of holding on and releasing, and the degree to which our bodies are impacted by feeling. Have you noticed that when people are upset by then they often hold their breath in the process of breathing, both inhalation and exhalation can be inhibited by holding on to unresolved emotion. Most of us also hold residual tension in our muscles, which never allow us to relax fully. Again, it is the unresolved or suppressed emotion that the basis of this form of constriction.